to that point, when people see the snowflake, they think, hey, snow day, cozy day in. I mean, that doesn't really get across just how dangerous this could be. And you're saying this is historic. This is impacting so much of the country, so many people, millions and millions of people. This is long duration. I mean, what specifically is concerning you the most? Is it the freezing temperatures? Is it just how slow moving it is? What does that look like?
All of the above. You nailed it. I think it's the massive extent. One thing that's really concerning to me is because it is so large, resources are going to be stretched thin across the entire country. Often when we have snowstorms, ice storms, you'll see electric power companies dispatch their personnel to other states to help them recover from the down power lines and down the trees and so forth. Because the storm's so large, they're going to be dealing with this in their own jurisdictions as well. So it's not going to be as much distributed help. Again, I'm really concerned about the extreme cold temperatures once the precipitation passes as well. And, people's misinterpretation of what's going to happen because they're over relying on those apps.
What about people traveling this weekend? Because it's impacting so many states. I mean, the chances of you, if you're traveling, either going out of or going into one of those states that are impacted are pretty high. Is your advice just don't travel?
Well, I think in some cases you're not going to be able to. I'm already seeing flights being canceled in some of the areas, and I think that's going to continue to be the case and even ramp up even more over the next 1 to 3 days. I think the airline infrastructure and network is going to be severely disrupted with canceled flights in these regions. I certainly wouldn't advising in these very icy, snowy conditions here particularly in the eastern part of the U.S. and the South, where people just aren't accustomed to driving. So it's important that people monitor this scenario very well and understand, to your point, that there could be some long-term impacts if there are down power lines or down trees or even refreeze from this extremely cold Arctic air that will be in place once the rainfall and snow and ice pass.
And at least half of the country is going to be monitoring this. But specifically, as the meteorologist, as the expert here, what specifically are you keeping your eye out for?
Yeah, I'm still keeping an eye out mostly for how far south the snow freezing rain line is. I think there's still a little uncertainty in that. A slight jog in the track of the low or a deeper penetration of the cold air damming wedge along the Appalachians could bring that icier condition further south. So I'm still watching for that a little bit. I'm watching for these winds, 20 to 30 mile per hour winds that could be coupled with icing and so forth. That's something that I'm very concerned about as well. I'll be watching after the fact for how these hurricane hunter data inputs impacted the forecast. I mean, that's more of a scientific research question that, I'll think about more as a scientist. But I'll be really interested to see, because perhaps we need to, in the future, think about programs that are providing more flights into these weather systems that are not just hurricanes.
You gave us a whole host of things to keep our eye out on, pieces of advice here, but do you have any more advice that you want to impart on people? Anything we haven't touched on?
I just think people, most people that live in the northern tier of the country have a good understanding and plans for winter precipitation and even cold. I think if you're in the southern tier of states, Texas, Georgia, Carolinas, Tennessee, make sure you have, adequate resources for backups for power, food supply and so forth. And maybe plan for a little bit longer than you think you may need to as well, given the potential likelihood of refreeze afterwards on the back end.
Well, there's certainly a lot to look out for with this storm, and we will be tracking it, but I appreciate your expertise here as always. Dr. Shepard, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you can come back again soon.
Thank you, Brittany. Good to see you.